see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today is Friday, May 31st, 2024, and this is episode 710 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled Let's Talk Snails. I'll be chatting about snails today, shed project decisions, weekend plans, and a little bit more. Let's check out in the live chat, see who's hanging out in the coffee crew, grab a cup, and hang out for an hour. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? Let's see who's in. Pip in early, 4 a.m. Happy Friday, humans. He starts his day super early and starts celebrating Friday before all of us. Hold on a second. Good morning, Jim. K-Bonk, good morning. These boys are asking, how's it hanging? And the typical all the way. Oh boy. And Mike's Homestead, good morning. Rewilder Life, good morning to you. Pickle Pete, Snails and Shrooms. I don't know about shrooms, but okay. Who else is here? Who else is here? Hanging Laundry, good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Jim says, I'm watching a chick talk about being assaulted. DV awareness. DV. I'm at a loss. I don't know. Anyway, what's in the cup today? Maybe I need a little bit of coffee to figure it out and wake up a little bit. Oh, by the way, yeah, is that was that your ad on the way in, Jim? Who else had a good ad today? In the cup today, I got the last of the bag of the Ethiopian. It's fantastic. I enjoy it, and yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, Jim says it's the ad before the show. Okay, I might open. I don't know if I got another bag of Ethiopian. We'll find out. Oh yeah, Hanging Laundry says the domestic violence. Yeah, sorry, I didn't have any. I didn't have enough coffee this morning yet. Ethiopians in the cup. It's a great light roast. Brian does a great job with it. I enjoy it when he sends it all the time. I can't say anything bad about it. So check it out. foodforestfarms.com. Lots 5 for 5% off every day, all day, anytime. Free shipping all the time. If you're a first-time customer and you want to get 10% off, give it a try, even though it's already priced super, super reasonably, and the customer service is fantastic. Use LOTS10, LOTS 10 for 10% off at foodforestfarms.com. Pick up some coffee today. Check out all the other stuff at the site, including his free new album that he poured his heart and soul into. Used AI, collaborated together, and made a nice little album. 19 minutes. Doesn't take long to listen. You can find it all over the web now, but you can also find it over at foodforestfarms.com. Oh, K-Bonk's into the Honduran again. Honduran medium roast. Nice. You're from yeah, you like that medium roast. I'll get into a medium roast. I'll get into a nice a light dark blend. The Silver Bullet blend that we have was a nice light dark blend. I've been a light roast person since I really started drinking coffee, but when I got into working at Caribou, sorry, my hat sat in took it to the laundry and it sat in a bag for too long and it got all wonky here. So I'm gonna be all crooked all day. It's just gonna irritate me looking at it. Pickle Pea says medium if you like body. Yeah. Oh man. It was a day, guys. It was a day yesterday. I didn't carry bricks up and down the hill, but I did end up pretty much more exhausted at the end of the day than I did the day that I carried the bricks all up the hill. But we'll talk about that in a minute. K-Bonk loves body. That could go so many different ways. first thing I wanted to get to today, I ran. I didn't get to it yesterday. Hang on, Laundry says Caribou Coffee. Cool. I bought that a few times. When I moved to Minnesota originally in 2001, end of 2001, when I moved to Minnesota, I was looking for bartending work, and in the meantime, and in the interim, when I was working at bars that just didn't pay the bills, I was also getting up and baristaing at Caribou Coffee in the mornings. Yeah, so yeah, that was the start of my better coffee journey, I guess, because it allowed me. They at that point were a very small company still, and yeah, they paid me to go to all sorts of coffee classes and go down to their roasting facility, and yeah, it was good. It was good. I learned a hell of a lot. Jim says if I told you I had a beautiful body. Last time I heard that, I fell off my dinosaur. Oh, Pickle P says bartenders and baristas opposite schedules. Yeah, you don't get much sleep. You don't get much sleep when you are doing that. And then, well, I mean, it did get me prepared, because then I transitioned from Caribou. When I left Caribou, I went and worked a day bartending job during the week, doing the lunch rush at a Hula Hands, and that was interesting. I worked open to like 5:30, so I got to do all the prep. I got to wait on all the tables and bartend and do the whole house drinks for lunch, and then get all the early happy hour folks before happy hour's over at 5. So what a weird cross section of people during every day. So Hanging Laundry says it's a Minnesota brand. I'm in Wisconsin. The owners that started the company it was something to do with Alaska. I don't remember the whole story. I was more into the coffee than the story. All the restaurants, or all the stores, originally started looking. They originally looked like cabins, like in the woods, in like the Alaskan woods or something. I don't know. They ended up growing and getting big and going slightly downhill from the time I was there, in my opinion. But anyway, good morning, Loco. Good morning, Loco. How we doing? Good evening, Loco. You're already into the weekend over there, aren't you? Anyway, yesterday I didn't get to Snails. We got talking about chainsaws. We got talking about other things. I didn't get to the Snails. I had it on the list. And so I wanted to talk about it today, because today our snail project will be moving forward, hopefully. Excuse me. Corey has been diligently looking for snails on her walks, anytime that it rains the night before, anytime that it's wet out, anytime that she's outside in general. She's eyes on the ground looking for snails. I think she's collected, and she's determined that she has 12 snails now. And we have a variety. We have a variety of sizes. We have larger ones that are lighter in color. We got these smaller ones that we're not sure if they're full grown or if they're in the midst of growing, but they're darker ones. It's a really cool variety in there, and she just keeps tossing them in our tote that we set up. So we originally started with the little terrarium that I picked up when she got her first snail. And she quickly found enough that we outgrew that, and we had to get some more space, because they like to roam around. We upgraded to, I think it's an 18-gallon tote. It's okay. It's okay. Hold on one second. Jim says, interesting. I don't associate caribou in Minnesota. That's because they like Alaska. They lived in Minnesota. I don't associate Jim with Florida, but there you are. Anyway, over on Noster, thanks Jim for stopping in. I'm live over on Noster, I believe. It's a Norman earthquake. Anyway, we bought an 18-gallon tote. She started filling that up. Snails, from what we understand, like a lot of room to roam. They say that they need about a gallon container per snail. So 18-gallon tote, we can have 18-ish snails in there. It's about to get really crowded. I'll tell you about that in just a second. But Hanging Laundry says, what are you planning on doing with the snails? My friend found one last fall and she's had easily over 100. Amazing coincidence. Same story with her getting more terrariums, etc. She released a bunch recently. We're gonna hold on to them. Long term, possibly breed and sell them as pets. Not sure yet. Corey's just really enjoying watching them. They're really cool to watch and observe. And I got some news with what we're gonna do with them here, hopefully this weekend. We'll see if we can figure it out. But so that's kind of where we're at. She kept finding new ones. They seem to interact well. From the research we have, some different species, I guess. I don't know if that's on the species level, the different snails, but they can fight. They can eat each other, I guess. I've learned that snails are hermaphroditic, but they cannot impregnate themselves. So when they needed more than one to have offspring. Good morning, Canadian Farmstead. Idea from Canadian Farmstead, and I love the U in color. Color, COLOUR. Color code the snails. Put a duck in the tote and take online bets which snail survives the longest. I don't think my wife likes you much anymore. You want ducks to eat her snails. She says she's willing to sell them for pet food if anybody wants to buy them. Offers can be emailed to info@thelostproject.com. We accept Bitcoin Lightning, credit card, debit card, PayPal, any way you want to spend it. So sorry, man. Oh, whew. Wow. Sorry. Canadian Farmstead says it color is spelled correctly. Not sure why that's amusing. How do you spell check? As in, I don't have any cash today. I will write you a check. Probably gonna say some stupid shit like CHEQUE or some stupid Canadian spelling. There it is. Now, I have a question, Canadian Farmstead, on the use of the word. Would it be spelled the same if one hockey player accelerated and ran into another hockey player, presumably putting them into the boards and stealing the puck? What would that maneuver be called? Oh no, that's a check, as in CHECK. Oh God, Canadians. What is that? What is that in Celsius? So we found all these snails. They're hermaphroditic. They need a partner to mate. But the weird part is they mate together. So they both have a stick and they both have a depository. And I don't know where that came from, but when they mate, they actually can store the goo for later use. So they can store it, and then if they find another mate, if they store it, they can find another mate and mate with them and use their goo prior to the previous goo. Man, I am bouncy bounce today, guys. Sorry. The previous goo can be used later, so they can store it for a rainy day, I guess. Canadian Farmstead says he's clipping this for teaching their kids the birds and the bees. Only they're hermaphroditic birds and bees. And I don't know if you want me teaching your kids, any kids, or anybody else's kids. So they can store it for later, and like they can jump other snails in line. So it's like somebody sees Canadian Farmstead and they're like, hey man, I'd like to get some of that. Pickle Pete says, is it simultaneous double penetration? And I believe it is, from what I understand. I think they can line up and just, it's like that. How do you do it? Get it in there together. Jim says you're going to have to not be so technical. Can I dumb it down for you? So, Jim, if somebody's hanging out in the mall up in the strip mall up in Canada, and Canadian Farmstead walks by, and she's a little she, she's got both the boy dangler and the girl dangler, or the girl innie and the boy outie, and Canadian Farmstead walks by, and Canadian Farmstead has an innie and an outie also. The female ish person that Canadian Farmstead tries to impregnate may just hold on to that because then they saw Loco walking by and was more attracted to him, so they can go and get impregnated first by Loco, and then later can hold on to the seed from Canadian Farmstead for a dry spell when there's nobody around, and can impregnate themselves again. Does that work for you? Pickle Pete says she's got a dangler. Hanging Laundry says dovetail joint. Perfect. Anyway, so we didn't know if the snails that we are picking up are impregnated or not, or if they're holding on to reserves. Jim says, and I'm on a train going 60 miles per hour, and Canadian Farmstead's going 80 kilometers in the opposite direction. Huh. Interesting. Is he going to put his train in your tunnel? So these snails we were picking up, we didn't know if they were impregnated. We didn't know if they were holding on the means to be impregnated after we had them. We didn't know if they would be breeding along with us, with the new snails that we put in with them. We didn't know if they were the same, or like what was going on. We didn't know. So we were observing. They're really, really fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Corey has a blast watching the videos she gets. The videos she gets are really cool. The way they eat, the way they drink, things like that. But all of a sudden, when we were searching in the nest, or in the terrarium, she picked up a little log bark arch tunnel thing that she made them. She went outside and found the piece of bark and put it in there. She saw eggs. So one of our snails is going to be a mommy daddy. And Canadian Farmstead asked, how long does it take the eggs to hatch? Anywhere from 1 week to 5 weeks. So right exact the gestation period. Exactly 1 to 5 weeks. depending on a variety of factors, heat, humidity, blah, 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 environment, and all this. Pickle P says you don't have to use slow mo when making videos. They're actually kind of fast when they want to be. I was surprised how fast the little buggers are, especially when you put food out for them. They come out hauling. They aren't slow. They aren't slow. So we have been watching the eggs. What are we at, like 2.5 weeks now? So we're about at 2.5 weeks, and Corey is convinced they're hatching. She hasn't been able to confirm that yet, but the snails are born with their shell and everything. So they develop in the egg. They develop a little tiny shell and all their stuff. And snails are actually, all their internals and their lungs are like up in the shell and attached to the shell. So they can literally go inside the shell, seal the bottom, and survive in there. So they're developing these little shells. She's seen them change color. They're starting to look, all the eggs are starting to look like little shells, and they can have like 80 to 100 per rip. And they bury them in the soil, so, or in the substrate, so we can't tell like actually how many eggs are there. We might all of a sudden have like 100 new little tiny snails. Canadian Farm said, will the snails eat their young? Probably. They will eat the eggs. I think if they're satiated, if they're not hungry, if we're feeding them, I don't think so. We'll find out. But when you find eggs, if you're keeping snails for pets and you don't want to deal with the eggs and the babies, because like Hanging Laundry said that they will multiply very fast. And that's the goal when we want to sell them. The cycle is pretty fast. Mike's Homestead, I'm getting there. So we're excited to see him hatch. A lot of people that don't want the eggs will take them and crush them and feed them back to the snails. That's okay. Everything's in there that they need, because it's everything that they need. It's just like a chicken. Why chicken eggs are so healthy. People actually eat them. Snail caviar is a thing. I don't know if we'll be rolling into that. I don't know if I'll be trying it. I mean, eventually, maybe. Why not? We can sell them to eat. These aren't really the big, huge snails that you're going to want to eat, but we can eat them. They are actually considered a survival food because they are prolific and so easy to take care of. So what's the next step with the snails? We want to do a live cam. Mike's Homestead says we would know if they were hatching if you had the snail cam. All right. Settle down. I have a little bit going on. I have a little bit on my plate. Hopefully that is coming this weekend. I'm going to do grocery shopping today. I'm going to do my trip to town today, and I have the okay from Corey to buy a large glass aquarium, because the tote that we got has like cloudy sides, like the frosted plastic sides, so you can't really see through it. There is no way to set up a camera to get a good view, and I don't think there's enough room inside the tank. So I'm going to get a glass tank. I'm going to set up a camera. I did the research, and snails are most active at night, and so we're trying to figure out how to have the camera on them at night when they're most active. And so I had to do some digging, and it appears that red light will not affect them. They can't see the red light spectrum. So I'll be able to use, I'm thinking I'm going to use my little O light here that I got as a sample, and just run the red light in the tank at night. And so we can keep the camera rolling 24/7. And we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do when we go out to the property for the weekend and take the Starlink with us. if we'll be transporting the live cam with us or if it'll just be down for the weekend. And yeah, I guess it'll depend on how popular the cam gets, because I know how people can get if they're vested in the Snails and it's going to be down for 2 days. That could be disastrous for ratings. So that's the plan with the Snails. Hatching soon. Hatching soon. Live cam soon. Corey is able to find 6 or so more. We're thinking about doing a if we get more eggs, or with the new tank. So I'm thinking I'm going to get like a large enough tank that we can keep several in there, either 10 or 20 gallons, so we can have 10 or 20 snails in there, just for more action, I guess, more consistent movement on the camera. Maybe if 1 or 2 are sleeping, 1 or 2 are moving, and we'll be able to do that. We're also going to need grow out. Canadian Farm says you definitely have to add a button that people think does something. It's just going to be a random button on the YouTube screen, and all it does is pause their video. Click. It's just going to be like one of these things over here. Just a picture on the side. It'll just say push this button to do something, and they'll push it, and the screen just freezes. Jim says, are you going to put a feed the snails button? Suckers like me throw money at crap like that. Absolutely. So the goal is, when we launch the stream, is going to be, right now I think it's going to end up on YouTube. It's just the easy button. I have an old phone with a decent camera. I can just load up, and I have a Gmail account for Sydney, our original snail. So with that Gmail account, I can just log in, go to YouTube, and set up a 24-hour stream. As funds start rolling in, if we start making money on it, then I will be able to invest more in a standalone whatever system I need for just the snails. But right now, it'll be interesting to see if we're running too high on bandwidth to just stream all the time, especially if Corey's got meetings or I am doing the show and Corey's working. So Hanging Laundry says put a little crown on the snail for $1. If I'm putting little crowns on snails, I'm putting it's going to be a lot more than $1. So that's just trying to figure it out, just trying to ease into it without dumping a bunch of money into it. It is just like a little pet project. Yeah. So that is that. So let me see here. What else is on the list? So that's the snails. That's the plan. Yesterday, I've been talking about this shed that I got from Creator Connections. I finally grabbed a link. Jim's wondering what the Canadian exchange for US these days is. I think you get a for $1 US, you get like $3 Canadian, maybe. I don't know. It's been I've been talking about shed for a while. I finally got the link. If you're interested in a metal shed, I haven't put it up yet. I don't have any feedback for you. But if you're looking for a fuck you, Facebook. All right, well, that's going to be almost about enough of that. I can't share a link in the comments of my own live stream on Facebook during my live stream. Hey, Chris Dixon, one question for you. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for the $1.38, $1.38 exchange rate. That's really close to the $3 that I thought. Loco in with exchange rate, current exchange rate. Chris Dixon, could you please spell check in the comments? As in, I don't have any cash on me today. I will write you a check. Jim says he sees tiny URL on YouTube, right? Or on Facebook. I don't know. I got this failed to post to Facebook. Here's what Facebook said. Your content couldn't be shared because the link goes against our community standards, I guess. Hunter says it's because only the owner can share links. I am the fucking owner. Chris Dixon says check, CHEQUE in Canadian, check in dollar, in Dixon is CHECK. Okay. All right. You're reasonable. Hunter says I'm not the owner on Facebook. Got it. Ah. I'm pretty much done with Facebook. I'm really, really close to just saying fuck it all. I'm trying to find the upside. I'm trying to hold on to the mini threads that I'm holding on to, and the small amount of interaction that happens over there, and reasoning and wrestling with my brain that it's worth keeping. It's not. I don't think it is. I'm basically down to sharing my show there and using the local Facebook groups to look for materials and look at the oh, oh, Snail Cam might not be happening. I can't even keep my live stream going. What the fuck's the point? Oh man. Mm. Hanging Laundry says just bought a metal shed for ducks a week ago. Are you putting in a concrete pad? Actually, I can show you what I'm doing here. I posted a picture yesterday. I carried block up to the build site, the cabin site, and I'm putting a concrete or cinder block square around the base. So basically a foundation, like a house foundation. It would be like a house foundation that I will set the frame on, and then that's the decisions I need to make going forward is what we're doing with the floor. So hold on one second, I'll bring this up. There it is. And add to screen. Okay, so this is where we're at. We were going to put it right on the ground. We were going to yeah, guys, I'm working on the anger issue too. Some things just put me over the edge. So Dixon says there's definitely a glitch in the Matrix today. There's been some weird shit going on with Starlink. There's been some updates recently and some weird shit going on. So I don't know if he's like pumping around satellites or what the deal is. But every once in a while, it'll go through a few day period where it just gets kind of wonky. So I'm wondering if that's what it is. Anyway, I'm putting these bricks down. And putting the frame around the outside. Where we put this, Jim says it started when I started talking about face crap. Oh, that is true. That is true. Is Elon are Elon and Zuckerfuck, are they buddies? I don't know. I don't follow around that stuff. Oh, by the way, Trump was convicted yesterday, guys. It's everything's gonna happen now. Anyway, so I put the frame in. Where we decided to put it wasn't necessarily level. And so I have two options. I can either dig this all out on the interior and put it down. I'm thinking will be I think it'll be about 18 to 20 inches below the brick. So basically, and then grade the outside away and put a drain in the back and have it all graded to the back and have a little PVC pipe running under to drain out any water that gets in there. So then put 2 steps down. So you would walk in the shed door and take 2 steps down and you'd be on the base of the floor of the shed. Otherwise, I have to start a mining hole. I would have to say it would be a mining hole where I'm going to have to dig a shitload of material and backfill in the hole there, and level it out either at the base of the bricks or above. Pickle Pete was asking how level did you set those? It was inside the level line on every single brick to brick across the brick. I used a 4-foot level. I did across the corners as far as it would stretch. They're level-ish enough until I find out what I want to do. Hunter says he wants piers. I don't know what piers you want me to put in there. I'm not putting a floor in it. I'm just putting a woven poly camping rug that we use outside our camper. We bought one of those for the interior, and the soil is so clay that it'll be like a floor. It'll be like a floor. So I got them as level as I could. I still have digging to do, and I need to compact those the berms that those blocks are sitting on just to make sure they're solid. But basically, yeah, with the clay soil, I was able to like mold berms. Dixon says until it gets wet and then it's a rowan bath. And that's what I'm thinking. And I think we'll find out real quick. It's supposed to thunderstorm tomorrow, like all day, and then supposed to not be as horrible on Sunday. Tomorrow I'm going to take a day and try to, Pickle P says, why not go up a few more blocks? Because I'm not carrying any more fucking cinder blocks up the hill. There was never a purpose at this site for cinder blocks. Never. Like there was no plan for anything for cinder blocks. We're doing like a pole barn style posts. We're not doing a foundation on the cabin. There was no reason to have to bring cinder blocks up the hill. I'm not bringing any more. That was enough. I'll take all the other material there is. So Um, Pickle P was wondering if I need extra height. I don't think I need extra height. The shed is 7.5 foot tall in the middle, and I think it's over my height even on the outside. So it is what it is. The problem is going to be I don't know if I want to dig. K-Bong says sand and clay equals bricks. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was building the berm out that I was putting the bricks on and packing it in, and it is pretty solid. Like I stepped on the bricks and the berm didn't crumble and the bricks didn't settle that much. But Hanging Laundry says, "What's the frost line depth in Tennessee?" What frost line? I think I mean, like literally the water lines in my friend Norman and Herschel's front yard is we dug them with a shovel and hit it with the blade of a shovel, so it's like within 10 inches. Um, so it's what I either have to do is I have to dig out the interior and solidify the edges so we don't crumble in, which I don't think we'll do. Grade out the outside to not have water intrusion run off in. Put a swale around the outside, a ditch or whatever, and hope the water doesn't get in. Hope it doesn't leak. Grade it from front to back, put a pipe in the back through the back berm, so if water accumulates inside, it'll drain out. I've been thinking through this process quite a bit to make sure that it'll work, that I'm not missing anything. I've reached out to a couple folks and kind of pitched some stuff at them, and they think it's not horrible. I don't want to Chris Dixon says frost line in Tennessee is 1/8 of an inch for 6 days. Sounds about right. If I fill it in, it's going to be a shit ton of digging, like more than I move to get them level and do the berm. I'm going to have to dig separately, and I don't know if I want to do that. The digging isn't bad. Like I that's the thing. The crazy part about yesterday is I took out 3 stumps out of that little area, little cedar tree stumps and some really big, probably like baseball bat size roots from some trees that were cut a long time ago, so they were pretty rotten. They came out pretty easy. But I'll tell you, I dug. I was there for 7 hours yesterday, and I dug. I would say probably had a shovel in my hand probably 4 out of the 7 hours, 3 to 4 out of the 7 hours, off and on, and I found one rock. And I'm not even sure it was a rock. I think it was possibly some sort of artifact from previous inhabitants. Previous, because it was just random. I dug that whole time and not found one rock. I couldn't take a shovel full of dirt in Minnesota without finding a rock, if not more. When I put the fence in at our farm and I dug the 117 post holes, I had a pile of rocks. We were filling a ravine on our property with all the rocks that I would find. It was unbelievable. Canadian Farm says, when I shovel rocks, I sometimes hit soil. Yeah, I understand what you're saying for sure. So to dig all day and only hit one rock, and I literally don't think it was a rock. I didn't have any water to wash it off, but I wouldn't have been surprised if it was like some sort of artifact tool or something. I threw it off to the side. I should be able to find it still. But I was like, holy crap. Jim says you should take some before measurements of your arms and legs. You're going to be in the best shape of in years. I am hoping that at the age of 50, so I'm 46 right now. We've pretty much committed to like 5 years here, and I'm thinking at 50 years old, I will likely be in probably the best shape of my life. I'm really paying attention to how my body's feeling right now because I am out of shape. I walked. I haven't done a whole lot of physical work since I left the gas tech job and went on the road and been in the camper. Exercising, diet, all fell off the fucking bandwagon when we took off from the farm, just due to a million reasons and a million excuses that none of them are fucking worth a shit, because I could have went outside and did some push-ups. I could have ate better. But they're excuses. So I let myself go. I've gained a bunch of weight. I'm out of shape for sure. But just being on that property and all the hills has helped maintain a little bit since we've been here. And I've been as I've been working out there, as I've been pulling the boxes for the shed and the tent and things up the hill and carrying the cinder blocks up the hill, I've been thinking to myself and really paying attention to how I'm feeling. Not making sure I don't get too sore, going at an adequate pace to get a good workout, but not overextend myself or injure myself. Because if I injure myself, this project fucking stalls like that. Corey is a lot of help. Corey isn't physically imposing woman. I didn't marry a man on purpose. I married a female. It's not that she's not strong. It's not that she's not capable, but she's 5'2". I'm 6'5". I can move a lot more fucking material just by sheer muscle mass than she can. So we lose a big force there if I get injured. So I'm really trying to pay attention to that. But I can feel myself definitely getting stronger in the last month, and I'm pretty sure I'm dropping weight like crazy. I don't really look at the scale, and I've just been lazy and haven't gotten it out because it doesn't matter. It's all about how I feel. But yeah, that is definitely going to be a workout, to say the least. Which is fine, which is perfect. It's part of it. That was part of the goal. So we have that going on. And so I have to figure out which way I want to go. We got thunderstorms coming in on Saturday. There's nothing over it. I left it open. I didn't have a tarp big enough or a cover big enough to get over that whole base. So find out if it's a swimming pool on Sunday when we go out to. I want Corey to go out and Corey to make the decision with me, because I don't like making decisions like that when it involves a shitload of work and a shitload of physical activity, because I don't want to make the wrong choice and either have to redo it to the right choice, or not be happy looking at it every day, or happy when Corey looks at it every day. Whatever. I want her to be happy too. And it's not, these decisions aren't mine. I lay out my thoughts on my decisions and let her know, and we make a call together. So I want her to come out and look and be comfortable with what plan we're going to do, and whatever it takes to make it happen after the fact. That'll be it. Chris Dixon says, I think 60 wheelbarrows of 1-inch washed rock would be a great floor. It would be a fantastic floor for sure. For sure. John Palmer says, you need the boss to tell you what to do. Not to tell me what to do. I can make up my mind perfectly fine. I'm just wary, and I understand the dynamics of being in a relationship. Hanging Laundry says stretching routine morning is very helpful. I've been doing it at night, actually. I stretch at night. I mean, I stretch in the morning, like I get up and stretch. But I at night, I really take some time and go out and stand and breathe and stretch and elongate, and it's been helping. It's been helping. I haven't been really sore yet. Um, not to say, I mean, not enough to say so. Not. Chris Dixon says they call it setting the lock pins. Nice, nice. Um, so I measured yesterday. One of the trips I had to go down to the truck. I didn't have to make trips yesterday. That was nice. Back and forth with all the. That's what I did all day on Wednesday or Tuesday. One of those days was carry those blocks up the hill. I only had to make a couple trips down to the truck yesterday. One was to grab a gallon of water because I drank all my water and it was warm. It was warm, but very comfortable to work yesterday. It was in the mid 80s and low humidity and partially in the shade. So that was nice. But when I ran down to grab my gallon of water, I have a rolling ruler, I guess it would be the wheel ruler for measuring distance, longer distance, not I mean, distance. Yeah. Excuse me. And so I it's easy to use. It's not heavy or anything. So I grabbed a gallon of water and then I walked the wheel up the hill. I was just curious how far it was because I always want to know. I've wondered, and I'm like, I'm just gonna finally figure it out. So if you've watched the video of the walk up to the cabin, I've cut in a new trail since then. At the top of the steep hill, we just kind of take a right and go straight over to the build site instead of going further up the hill and then over to the build site. So yesterday, when I was running the tape up there, I guess you call it the measuring tool, from the spot where I started the video, basically where I can back the truck up to reasonably without a worry of getting stuck or anything like that, and unload material. It's 500 feet, almost to the nuts, to the corner of the cabin, closest to the trail. The bottom of the steep hill that is the biggest obstacle of the whole trip is almost exactly halfway. It's 273 feet, I guess, depending on where I set the thing down and start going. 253 feet, 253, 247. It was right around halfway. And then the hill with the steep incline is 75 foot long. So yeah, 500 feet. Every piece of material that goes into that thing gets carried 500 feet and up a probably. And I haven't quite figured out how I want to figure out the grade and the elevation increase on the hill. I'm thinking I might take a long piece of lumber and lay it on there and grab the angle. Chris Dixon was wondering how far is 500 feet. 500 feet, it is 187 yards. Do you use them? Guys use yards or only meters? Canadian Farm says I need to cruise by the Home Depot parking lot. For what? Labor? We got Lowe's. I don't have Home Depot within spitting distance. My hard box store is my box store go-to is Lowe's here. Dixon says if you have size 13 boots, does it make it less? When you have the stride I do, it's less steps at 6'5". John Palmer says it's 152 meters, assholes. Thanks for being on that conversion for me. Um, Chris Dixon says I'm an imperial measure guy unless I'm fabbing stuff. It's a skill set. Yeah, like I think if you were raised that way, it makes it easier. But I'm always impressed when you guys whip out the gasoline conversions, because you guys are leaders, Canadian dollars per liters, and Tim, when he was down here, he was just like, boom, that's dollar US dollars per gallon. And I'm like, you did like 7 conversions in your head immediately. Canadian Farm says we use yards for construction, but meters when talking to Americans. Thanks. It's 17 rubber ducks wide. So yeah, that's the trip up to the cabin. So everything's been going in, and it's definitely a workout. What else is on the list here? Oh, today and the weekend. Today I have a ridiculous trip to Savannah. I got to go down there for shopping day. I have to, man, I ran out of washing soda because we make our own laundry detergent, and one of the bulking ingredient, one of the main ingredients is washing soda. And I ran out and ordered it from Amazon. It's showing up tomorrow, one day late. And that's kind of my fault because I forgot to order it. So I have to go to Walmart. I have to prep the laundry detergent. I have to go to Walmart, buy the washing soda because they didn't have it at Kroger. I have to then finish making the laundry detergent. I have to look at aquariums at Walmart. I have to go to Pet Sense, which is across the street, check out Pet Sense for aquariums. And I have to go to Lowe's, which is across the street. I think I have something to get at Lowe's. I have a list that I have. And then I have to go over and do laundry. I have to go to Tractor Supply to get dog food and some other shit. And also groceries. It's going to be a busy day, guys. It's going to be, I don't even have time to go to Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't. Chris Dixon's wondering how many freedoms per cheeseburger is that? And Jim's asking how wide is a duck and what's a hen weight? Canadian Farm said, that is my thought exactly. Mixing white powders in the back of a truck in Walmart parking lot. What could go wrong? Especially my truck with my missing tooth. I'm like, I am a prime candidate for a search and seizure of my my powders. My powders for sure. Corey's like, well, we were trying to figure out what to do. She's like, well, do you want to just buy detergent? I'm like, no. We were making our laundry detergent probably a year before we left, Corey, right? At least a year before we even left the farm. We haven't used commercial laundry detergent in four or more years. I looked at it and I said, what kind do I buy? I don't even know what we use. And I had a really bad allergic reaction when I was a kid. My mom switched laundry detergent. We didn't figure it out until after she had washed all my clothes, all my sheets, all my everything, that I was allergic to either the laundry detergent or the fabric softener that she switched to. Pickle P says, I have my pajama bottoms on inside out when I made my Walmart run for my fishing license yesterday. People at Walmart, you might just see Pickle Pete, especially if you had that big shit stain in the back, now on the outside. I mean, there is that. So it's going to be a long day. Down in the big city, and then back to home. And I think tomorrow, unless the weather forecast changes, I think it's going to be a catch-up day. I think it's going to be a try to figure out the snail live stream, get caught up on some content, get caught up on some web maintenance, get caught up on a lot of shit. A lot of shit's behind. Pickle Pete says, what's the fine? Or Jim's asked Pickle Pete what the fine for fishing without a license. Oh, I imagine in Washington they'll throw you in jail, take your house, take your kids. I mean, it's fish. And then Sunday, hopefully out to the property and get a handle on what on how we're going to finish the shed, what we're going to do about the floor, because I need to finish that out. And then I would rather, if I'm going to fill all in the base, I'd rather not have to do it from the door. I would rather be able to dig a few different holes around the edge and like just shovel it in over the foundation and not have to walk around to the front. I don't have a wheelbarrow up there yet, so it is what it is. Hanging Laundry said, do you guys liquefy your detergent or just mix the powders? We just use the powders. Right now we use cast iron soap and washing soda and essential oils. I think it's gotten our clothes pretty clean for a long time. It worked all right with even my nasty farm clothes and my my Fuel Tech clothes. I think if I was going to do it again and doing research into alternatives to washing soda, I would have probably added some borax to the mix for the Fuel Tech clothes. But right now the detergent with the cast iron soap and the washing soda is working just fine. Pickle Pieces, I know they take your gear, so I use a Barbie rod. Cost me 25 cents. I experienced a really, really interesting interaction secondhand. We were hearing what happened from the conservation officer on the phone. He was telling somebody we were with when we were on a guided snow goose trip, but I heard him describe the veracity that they used to go after this guy that just really pissed him off. And they literally took anything at his house that could have been used or thought about using for hunting, fishing, or any sort of outdoor recreational activities. They impounded, because the dude deserved it. The conservation officer was actually going to let him off until he told him that he could probably kick his ass. After they caught him smoking pot in the seat of his truck when it wasn't quite legal yet, shooting snow geese out of a field with a rifle and a scope to harvest the bands, the ankle bands and the neck bands they had on. In a private field, shooting off a public road. He was just going to tell him to move along until the kid said, I could probably kick your fucking ass. And he said, oh yeah? On the spot, they confiscated his flatbed dually that the cop said he kept crying. He kept crying to the cop because he said he's only made 2 payments on the truck. How are they going to take it away? He still has a loan. Well, that was the least of his worries, because they went to his house and took his fucking boat, all his gear, his guns, every fucking thing they could get their hands on. Let's catch up on the comments and probably wrap up here. Canadian Farm says that fishing license up here is one I find least objectionable. They do a good job using the money to stock lakes. Because government's really efficient. I'm sure out of the 71 Canadian dollars that you have to pay for your license, about 6 of it goes to stocking. Jim says I'm going to need that recipe. I got to get off tide. No problem. Send me a message and remind me to give it to you. It's pretty straightforward and easy. Oh yeah, that's right. I can send you a video. Corey's got a video on how to make it. Um, Chris Dixon still he says I'll happily pay for fish and wildlife so they actually do good with the money. That must be different in Canada than down here. Hanging Laundry says Tide is the worst for septic system. Yep. Yep. Um, Jim says I'll get arrested for verbal assault if a cop tries to give me a ticket for fishing. I won't resist, but F that. Pickle Pete says you got a loan, no truck. Rewilder Life says DNR not the popo you want to mess with. I will fuck with a sheriff, a county cop, a state trooper 100 times easier than I will a DNR guy. DNR guys, yeah, are not something you want to fuck with if you enjoy outdoor recreation. They're tied into all the ATV licenses, all the boat licenses. So not even if you're not fishing, even if you're not hunting, they have jurisdiction over all your recreational vehicles. Fuck that shit. Canadian Farm says a 3-year fishing license is $45. That's not bad. It could be way worse. Pickle Pete's talking about the Indians in the Pacific Northwest have no license, so it's always weird because they have no seasons. Real quick, when I was in Minnesota, so Minnesota is full of native. We have a bunch of reservations. All the lakes are well, the lake I lived next door was Lake Mille Lacs. Is in Indian, it was in Indian territory that it's a big mess there. But basically they've worked out deals with the state for the walleye harvest every year. So they net fish. They I couldn't net fish. I couldn't do the shit they did. And then I believe they agreed to follow a season loosely, but they fished the fucking lake out. Now here's the fucked up part. So in conjunction with the Minnesota DNR, between the net fishing of and the over harvesting by the natives and the DNR mismanagement and promotion of the northern pike and the predatory large predatory fish in the lake, they've pretty much decimated the walleye and the perch population in the lake because the northern pike and the predatory fish have taken over, and now anytime they try to stock walleye or perch or they naturally try to progress, the predatory fish take care of them, they're gone. So they've gone seasons without walleye fishing. Now here's the rub. Coincidentally, without walleye fishing in the summer or the winter, the resorts on this lake, which used to be very popular, are empty because no one wants to go to fucking Lake Mille Lacs and not fish for walleye. That's what you fish. Muskie, maybe. Northern, you can find them anywhere. But it was a really good walleye lake, and these resorts built their businesses off them. Guess who's buying all the resorts when they're going bankrupt and can't operate? Just maybe there was intent there. There's been a long history of people claiming that that the tribes and the DNR are kind of so. It is what it is. All right. All right. Well, All right, we're gonna wrap up. We're 10 after. Comments are all caught up. I appreciate everybody hanging out. It's been a good week. I'm tired. I'm gonna try to knock it out this weekend. We'll circle back and go on Monday. If you have any topics for the show you want to hear me discuss, you can always email me at info@thelotsproject.com or join the Telegram group. Drop them in there and have a chat. Even if you don't have topic ideas, you want to hang out with a cool bunch of people. We got about 75 folks hang out in the Lots Project chat. And there's always interesting discussions going on and silliness, and it's interesting. It's a microcosm of the whole world, all right there in one little group. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you listening all week and downloading the audio, sharing it along. If you enjoyed the show, it's always free to hit the like, hit the share on the social media posts, on the audio post, on the video. And always be sure to subscribe wherever you find me. To return value for value, please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers or listening on any value for value platform like Podverse or Fountain.fm. Visit thelotsproject.com for information about me, all my partner companies, discount codes, affiliate links, all that, and a whole bunch of other information. That site has so many pages. And now comfreeroots.com, where you can pick up your Comfrey Roots direct from the source. comfreeroots.com. Share the love. Coupon code Share the Love currently gets you a BOGO offer. You'll get a second order sent out. No change in price, no anything when you enter the coupon code. It just gets put in there, so I know to send you two packages, and you can hand one out to a friend or use them for yourself. That's up to you. Coupon code Share the Love, all one word. Other than that, hopefully I get that snail camp fired up and we can start pumping that out around. And yeah, we'll see. More updates to come on Monday. Have an awesome weekend, guys. Get a lot of shit done. Tomorrow's June 1st. Tomorrow is June 1st. May is gone. 5 months gone after today. Make the most of it, because I read a message this morning. A friend of mine had some tragedy strike, and you never know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. And make the most of it, guys. Make the most of it. We'll catch up with you on Monday.